Happy foods, happy foods. 242, 242. Happy foods, 242. Food galore just for you. Happy food, 242. Food galore just for you. This ain't no talking show, it's a eating show. Sasha Laurel is the host of Happy Foods, 242. Food galore just for you. Happy Foods, 242. Food galore just for you. Happy Foods, 242. Food galore just for you.
Hey everyone, it's your favorite girl Sasha Laurel and welcome to another exciting episode of Happy Foods 242. And today we are at Sysco, Bahamas, but it's probably not what you're thinking. We're gonna pair a sommelier with an executive chef. So we're bringing you food and wine today. Let's go inside, check it all out. Okay, so I have Kyle Stubbs with me. He's a sommelier. I got that right?
You did indeed.
Oh, I remember the sommelier. He's also with Bristol's Wine and Spirits. And then we have executive chef Jamal Small. If y'all don't know him, that means y'all been stuck under a rock. Jamal is like one of the chefs. I don't even, award-winningness. He has so many accolades that go with him. But this show today is going to be educational and fun. We brought Kyle, well, it was Kyle's idea. We had Kyle and Jamal together, so we're going to have food and drink. But Kyle, since we last were with you, just tell us a little bit about what's happened with Bristol in terms of all of the wines and products that it offers.
Super. So, for the last few years, we were navigating the pandemic. And so we're still seeing our fair share of challenges in terms of the ability to get product, as well as the increase on pricing. So over the last 12 months or so, it's been a focus to make sure we could find suitable replacements, to have concrete information about particular brands that we know we do extremely well in our market, and then communicate that with our customers. So that's literally what, all hands have been on deck for the last 12 months to make certain that, we mitigate what was a really bad 2020 and 2021, just to make sure heading into this season that's going to be a very good season that, if there's something that people were familiar with, if it's not available, there's a replacement, or fighting with our margins to make sure that we still offer these products at competitive pricing. So we've kept our hands on that while still trying to be creative and bring educational opportunities and wine and food tasting opportunities. And like we're here to have some fun today, find a good chef who understands, the chemistry, the science, and the art on the culinary side of things, and then to put it on the side of some fantastic wine so we could have a gastronomic experience.
Gastronomic. Kyle is ready. He came ready for the show. Jamal, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know, because I run in certain circles, but tell us a little bit about you first before we get into some of the real stuff what I want to know.
Well, Jamal Small, always wanted to be a chef. That was my passion from fourth grade. Like, that's what I wanted to do. Fourth grade hit me, do what you want to cook.
Right.
And that was it.
Right.
Took off from there. So I always build the momentum every step after step after step, being a chef. And before the pandemic, before all this happened, the corporate chef that was here before me, I said, chef, I competing in your competitions. One day I won your job. And
so sad.
Right, so sad it happened.
Right.
It just
now you talked about those competitions. You've carried the Bahamas literally on your back. Tell us
literally.
a little bit. Yeah, literally.
I would say that it was a team effort. It's always a team effort.
So Jamal has been on several Bahamas culinary
yes.
teams, and they've competed in the culinary Olympics, for lack of a better terminology.
Yes.
And you guys
Caribbean, our local Caribbean, like our Caribbean culinary Olympics. So I've competed for I think 9 consecutive years. And we actually won in 2015, and then I was able to accomplish Caribbean Chef of the Year, which was the one category we just could not get. And I was able to accomplish that. And it's been, since the pandemic, we fell off, but we're hoping to build back another team to go once we get the all clear to have the competition again.
Okay, so Chef, tell me, and both of you actually, how important is it to have the right wine? I'm gonna start with you, Jamal. Have the right wine paired with the right food.
The wine is like the plane taking off, and then when you drink the wine, it should go into orbit. Like you should not have a bad experience. You shouldn't drink the wine and then the plane crash. Right. So when you pair that wine correctly with that dish, like Kaya said, gastronomical. It's that umami. It's that you have a food orgasm. So that's what it is.
You want to add to that, Kyle?
I wish I could, but that captures it all. You know, there's so many dynamics when it comes to food in terms of flavor and texture. It's the same thing on wine. And so no two wines are going to be the same, like no two dishes. Even if you tell chef to give you chicken in the bag and you go somewhere else and ask for chicken in the bag, they won't be the exact same chicken in the bag.
You're right.
It's the same thing with wine. And so, you know, one wine should or may lend itself to express a little bit better with a particular chicken in the bag. And so it makes sense based on the elements. So in food, it's the texture, the spices, cooking techniques. In wine, it's the elements, right? The acid, the alcohol, the fruit, the sugar, and those in varying levels pair with varying dishes, bring out elements. We don't like to compete when we get into food and wine pairing. It's all about complementing.
Right.
So it's either the dish is enhanced, the wine is enhanced, or together is an experience that you can't get unless you put these two things together.
All right, so Kyle, people may want to experience your services privately. I know you do a lot of virtual wine tastings and maybe getting back into doing it in person. Give us all the information people need to know to reach you. Tell us where all they could find all of the products we're going to experience on the show as well with Bristol's location.
So if you're not following, it's Bristol's Bahamas on all your social media platforms. I'm always accessible by email. That's kyle.stubbs@bristol.bs. And on a personal scale, you can catch me on Instagram at Bahamian Psalm or on Facebook at Kyle S. Stubbs.
All right, same thing for you, Jamal. If people want to maybe hire you, I having a fancy dinner, and I saw you on Sasha's show. I need you to come make this dinner in my house. How can people reach you?
Well, as for now, the catering thing is at a standstill for me. I've been like just doing shows, doing like coming up. I have the New York Wine and City Festival, so it's like constantly. Let me get tourism to give the approval. Right, I am ready. You know, I'm always ready. But yeah, so that's the kind of thing I've been doing. So yeah, as it stands, like if you need help with your operation, you could reach us here at Sysco. So consulting at Sysco, that's what I do here. For the most part, consulting with menu planning, creating menus, costing, like all the whole 9 yards. We do it here. We want to sample dishes. We do samplings as well, and we do testing of products. So we do side by sides. We do all that stuff here. Cuttings, all that stuff we do here. But you could reach me at jsmall@bahamafood.com. My personal platform. If you want a recipe, I'm open to share. Anything. Chef_Smalls, SMALLZ. On Instagram, Jamal Small on Facebook. Reach out if you need a recipe, you need help with anything. I'm always open and always willing to help. I have no problem.
So I must say, you would have realized it from the intro. We are at the Sysco building, which is located off Gladstone Road. So shout out to Sysco for allowing us to use their building, their space, their kitchen, which you're going to see in a while. Guys, I like to say this is not a talking show. We did plain talking. It's an eating
It was
show.
a lot to get out, you know.
Yeah,
it was a lot to get out.
It was a lot
to get out. We
Stay
get time to
tuned.
eat.
You're watching Happy Foods 242.
Food galore just for you. Happy food. 242. Food galore just for you.
All right, so welcome back. You're still watching Happy Foods 242. And me and Chef are now in the Sysco kitchen. Now, Chef, I already see something that I am going to enjoy.
Yeah, very much
and I'm glad that I see 3. Because that means I for sure don't have to share.
I had to be prepared.
Because, you know, I now have what I would say 4 niggas on the show. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like share. I don't want to have to fight share.
All right, so let them fight.
Yeah, let them fight.
All right,
let them fight. So I see tuna. Tell me a little bit about what you're going to be preparing for us today.
So the first dish I decided to go with was IE tuna. So pop it out the package, paper towel. You're gonna let that drain. So we want all the excess water to come off, and then kosher salt, a little togarashi, which is a Japanese seasoning. So we're going a little Asian kind of fusion for the first course. A little Asian feel. Let me just do quick sear. Like you said, quick sear, allow it to rest, and then we slice and plate.
So excited about that. I'm really
easy peasy.
Tuna is like one of my favorites. Then you have, I saw on your little paper down here, cauliflower. I like that you're doing something vegan.
Of course.
I really want to see what Kyle compare with this cauliflower. I don't know how you pair cauliflower with wine. We can make it work. And then we have a little ravioli going on here.
Finish it with
you know what, we ain't even gonna talk.
Famous dishes. One of the dishes that started it all.
Okay.
My carrot cake.
All right, so let's get to the tuna. Let's do a little, I could be a, like your soup. You won't give me no gloves, so.
You need gloves? I can get you gloves.
Yeah, let me be your soup.
Mm-hmm.
Let me assist.
So you're gonna sear.
Oh, I'm gonna sear.
Oh yes.
All right, so I know we starting off with probably a really hot pan, right?
Hot, but not so hot. We want it to sear. We don't want it to burn. We don't want
Okay.
char. So we want a nice golden sear.
Okay.
So we medium to high heat, non-stick. A
Just
little bit of oil, just
extra virgin or just
extra
regular?
virgin.
Okay.
I like extra virgin. I like the flavor it gives to food.
Okay.
You can see a little shimmer, and then you're gonna
Okay.
grab the tuna. And of
Okay.
course, I'm gonna place away from you in the pan.
No, you do one and then let me do the last two.
Sure, I
Yeah,
have no
so I
problem
can
doing
see.
that. So I'm gonna crank it a little bit for the shimmer. So there you go. See,
Oh, that's simple.
that's simple.
Okay.
You won't get burned, and you don't have to be afraid of the oil splashing up. That's it. Release it.
Okay.
Don't touch it. Just let that oil get it. So we're basically talking about a 10-second dish here. It's like
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flip.
Is the same concept applied to scallop?
Yes.
Like 10 seconds and then flip and then you're basically done.
Yep.
So then the longer you cook it, the tougher it'll get.
Correct.
I know
and
these
then
things, you know, chef. You need to take us
quality
to
of
New
the
York.
ingredients.
Take us
Quality
to
of the
Switzerland.
ingredients.
We are putting in our bid. When chefs go to Austria and all these places we go in, Happy Foods is putting it in his bid. Y'all email him and tell him make sure I carry the team. So that's it.
Yep. That's simple.
10 seconds. Okay.
Anybody who wants it cooked a bit longer, hey, if you want to destroy a good quality piece of tuna, then that's fine.
I mean,
it's
just
a
look at
preference.
that. Woo-wee. That's beautiful.
So allow it to rest in any product, vegetable, protein, I allow it to rest. Allow those juices to just redistribute. So we have a clean cut, clean plate up.
Okay. All right, so we going straight into the next two dishes. Chef, what's happening here?
This is the shrimp toast. It's a cheesy
Okay.
shrimp toast, sourdough from Sysco, a P&D shrimp.
Okay.
So what you do, you pre-cook the shrimp, toss it in a nice mayo,
Okay.
whatever mayo you choose. Spicy, not spicy, whatever you choose.
Which
Fresh.
mayo did you use?
I chose a mild mayo, you know.
Okay.
Aioli, if you want to call it. 'Cause it has
Aioli.
some garlic in it. 375 oven until golden brown and delicious. And
Okay.
then that's it.
That's
Easy
gonna
for
take
you.
what? 10,
5, 10.
10 minutes?
Yes. But why are we doing that?
Okay.
You got a
This-
vegan dish here.
I like how you catering.
To we gotta hit every aspect.
Jamal is catering too. I didn't ask for cauliflower, but I
Every
do love
aspect. You
cauliflower.
have to hit.
Now you know what my problem is, Jamal. My mad, you done put this in the pan because I just never could cut it properly.
So the key to cutting the cauliflower is keeping the root on.
Okay.
Keeping the root on. So once you take the outer leaves off, you cut center first. Center first.
Okay,
And
center
then
first.
and then we
And
do
then
another
I'll-
cut.
okay,
And then we
okay, I
to
can
make
try
the
that
steak.
alone.
So with this dish, you have to get a jump start because you want to cook. Get a nice sear, and then you want to finish it in the oven.
So what we have in our pan, I know we have time. And
Time.
That's
Cook
what
it just like a
EVO.
steak. Cook it just like a steak.
Okay.
So we want the vegans to feel like you're getting a steak experience. So we cook it kind of like a steak. Sear, a little garlic, a little fresh thyme, olive oil,
I'm
and
glad
then
you're looking out for them.
I gotta look out for them. Because you had the job with less, you know, every aspect.
Every aspect of the
Every
culture. I got
aspect.
you. And I already
And this
see
is
we getting
very,
it.
very popular.
Okay.
This kind of thing is very popular.
I
for
see
some
we already
strange reason.
golden brown on the outside.
Yes. Golden brown exterior. Almost ready to plate.
Keep your eye on the tuna for me, Jamal. That's some-
My left eye on it.
Yeah, 'cause on this show, all my life I have to fight. Keep your eye on it for me, Jamal. I watch it with the right, you watch with the left. So we got our shrimp. Oh, I'm excited. This is about to be a good show. And then Kyle can just, what you say, lift off? Kyle taking
Lift
us to
off.
the
We're gonna go into the orb. You're gonna go into orbit.
plane. Okay. Now what we have here? What's happening
This
here?
is
This looks like something
Calabrian.
that ain't for me.
Calabrian chilies.
Yeah, this ain't for me. What is for me? No.
It's for the vegan dish.
Okay.
Calabrian chilies.
So what you telling me is I ain't gonna like this.
Yeah, you will. When you taste
Is
everything
it
together.
spicy?
gets a hit, get a little note. That's where the heat comes from. You know, vegans, they tend to like spicy, sweet. They like that palate to kind of be set off because they're not getting the natural meat, the natural protein, so they gotta sub it with other things.
Okay. Subtle hints from Jamal, not me.
That's it. You want see that? That's what you want.
That is beautiful.
You want a nice char, so cook it on one side.
So we only
Then
cooking it on one side?
One side, yep. You cook it on one side.
So
that's
the
why
heat...
it's finished.
Oh, okay.
That's why you were oven time.
Okay.
So, a quick sear, finish in the oven until it kind of steams the other side. And then, that's it.
I'm going to try that this Sunday.
Listen, if you have a vegan in your life, you have a vegan
I
somewhere,
just love cauliflower
they'll love you for it. So we're going to do that. We're going to do some fennel. We're going to do some pine nuts. And then we have the smoked eggplant.
Oh, you giving us like all kind of flavors.
Listen. When my boy called me, I gotta put it together. He say, "Chef, you want?" I say, "Right, say less."
Okay.
Gotta make sure he look good. You can smell the smoke, smell the char.
Yeah, that.
So with vegan cooking, you have to play with the palate. So the senses, you have to, you have to build the senses.
Chef,
has to be like.
Oh, I know what I can do. I just want to. Listen, Kenny and Jay looking at me like, I just want to taste some this eggplant. Oh, that's amazing. I could just have that right in the center and don't need nothing else. That is.
Don't I heard them from me out. Don't you dare do it. Okay. So we're gonna do something fancy. We're gonna get a comb. Get our vegan steak, because that's basically the concept. Gonna give a steak experience with a cauliflower. So pine nuts. So we're building protein on top of protein, texture. Some fennel. So we got a licorice kind of feel.
I'm very intrigued by the chef. And could this be like, so this will be what, course number 2, right?
To the vegan them.
But
Call it for the vegan them.
if you was doing this for, could this be like an entree as well?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Now this part, I ain't too keen on this part.
So that's the Calabrian chili. You just want that little subtle, just a little bit of the chili oil, but that's just a garnish. So we just want a little that chili oil,
The
just.
color.
See, and that's the key. That you want that pop of color.
Whew. All right.
Of course, with this dish,
And these are all edible, right?
all edible. Because you know, this for the vegan, and they like eat grass and bush.
Chef
You
is
gotta
being
hit
petty on the show.
You gotta hook them up. You gotta make it look like, oh wow, yes, chef, you did it. For us, you did it. Of course, my favorite, a little olive oil, of course, because you gotta have a little hit of olive oil. But this is the piece de resistance. This is the sauce that finishes. This is the cauliflower puree. I put in the siphon gun. So we're gonna get a nice
I never knew the name. Siphon gun.
Yeah, so it's a espuma, cauliflower espuma. Now, if you taste it, you have a spoon?
Oh no, I got you, chef.
Oh,
right here.
You taste it, it's like a cloud.
So how is it made?
So I take cauliflower, boil it with shallots and a bit of garlic, and then you puree it, and then we put it in the siphon and charge it one time.
That's good.
So it's just textures Textures.
All right, so chef is gonna do another dish. He has something sweet for us too, but y'all will see that on the next side. But chef, you got this one here.
This is the don't come for me dish. This is like
Don't come for you.
Right. This is like, but hey, come to give you flavor today. This 24-hour braise oxtail. Oxtail has been braised 24 hours. I leave the pot on and I get home, and I coming back to it the next day. We got that. Gotta hit that in our saute pan.
So what did you do? You put the oxtail in what? Salt and water?
No, ma'am. So we get in Caribbean. We stray away from what we commonly do, boil oxtail. No.
Right.
We're gonna take those oxtail and we're gonna treat it like a short rib. We're gonna sear that.
Okay.
Season it up, sear it, put it in mirepoix, a little red wine, some chilies, a little cinnamon stick. So we got some Caribbean, we got some spices to warm it up, and then we have the whole traditional braising method.
And you leave that on for a whole day?
Whole day. And then it falls off the bone. Wow. Falls off the bone.
And this would be the end product?
Yes.
It smells amazing.
So you got that naturally cooked down, and then we just toss it. Get some ravioli, we get these here at Sysco.
Okay.
Raviolis, we get these here at Sysco. You know, I have to promote because we can't use the place.
No problem.
We don't promote. Let me just toss it in there and just get them hot.
What are they filled with?
They're filled with meat as well.
Okay.
So we got meat on top of meat.
That already look good.
So that's what you want to do. So we're going to capitalize on what's going on here. As you can see, this is already seasoned.
Right.
You don't see me doing no fat.
No, I can smell it.
No, we don't touch it. So the natural reduction is all you want.
Now what's this?
That's actual braising liquid.
Okay.
So I separate it so I can use it and incorporate it at my leisure.
Okay.
And this here is a oxtail demi. So the best cut of meat to make a demi with, make a red wine sauce, a meat sauce, any type of sauce with steaks and that will be oxtail.
Okay.
You get the most flavor, gelatinous, you get the most umami out of it. So that'll be your best bet.
All right.
I learned it from Chef Simeon, like hardcore.
Okay.
We use an oxtail to make our demi.
All right, so chef is gonna plate up our oxtail ravioli. He does have another dish for us. You all saw the shrimp, you all saw the tuna. Oh yeah, and our vegan dish, our cauliflower. We can wrap this up, and when we come back, y'all will see me eating and drinking, because we still gotta bring Kyle back in, because this is about a pairing. We can't leave Kyle out. So when we come back, you'll see all of that. Stay tuned. You're watching Happy Foods 2-4.
Did you miss most of this week's show? Make sure to visit our YouTube channel and see everything from Happy Foods and Happy Foods Bahamas.
Kyle was standing in the background laughing at all the jokes. And now Kyle is in the driver's seat. Now, chef, we have our tuna dish.
Seared tuna, avocado mousse, micros, a little tuyo, a little Asian vinaigrette.
Okay, so chef, Kyle, tell me about what we're going to pair with this particular dish. And I know fish generally, people say fish go with white, meat go with red. So are we adopting that same?
Yes and no. So the first thing is the texture. right? So, sorry, the first thing is the white wine with white meat is always a safe bet.
Okay.
But now, chef is talking about texture, so we're on a fleshier fish as opposed to a flaky fish. And he also used the word Asian, which is a little bit of sweet and sour, a little bit of spice. So what we want is something that has a little bit of residual sugar in it, which usually would be a Riesling, or something that has ripe fruit character, where we could get the interpretation of sweetness.
Okay.
So our safe bet today on the white side is an unoaked Chardonnay from California, so extremely ripe fruit, right? It's almost like our pineapples from Eleuthera. No other pineapples in the world get as ripe as that, right? So something's really good happening in Eleuthera, something really good is happening in California. It's called 105 degree summer days for 3-4 months. So extremely ripe fruit. So that gives us the impression of sugar. What I did was get the unoaked Chardonnay, so we don't have no wood, no vanilla, or those extra flavors, whereas we get the experience what chef has on his plate, and we're coming to the side to complement it. My favorite pairing with tuna, though, like chef has here nicely said, I think we did about 8.5 minutes in total, is a light red wine that has a high acid, because now we're talking about the texture. How do we really, if we can, enhance this ahi tuna, which is the acid, which is to cut through the texture and soften it down. So if you were to go with the Pinot Noir with this tuna, right, it's going to be fighting texture to give you the most enjoyable texture of this tuna. Right? If you were to go with this white wine, it's assisting all of the flavors. It's not competing with the texture, but it's also saying, hey, there's a little bit of sweet and sour, so I need a little bit of fruit to come and make sure that that spice doesn't go at an unattainable level. You know, when we were growing up, they say you eat something spicy, coat your mouth with whole milk. It's the same kind of thing here when you're looking for a wine that has a good fruit character kind of thing. Now, Riesling could go good on the side of this too, but I have the Riesling for chef's famous dish at the end, so I didn't want to disturb that.
So we have two here though. So what is your top pick out of the two?
This Pinot Noir.
Okay, so let's start with the Pinot Noir, because right now, I mean, I heard what you said, but you said a lot.
So I'm going to let you. This is Simonet Fur Pinot Noir. This is a very nice, we like to use the word entry level.
I need chef class. She can, of course.
When we say an entry level Pinot Noir, when I say entry level, that's usually, you know, the price point. So this is a very attractive price point wine, but
I can already smell it.
It has all of the elements of a Pinot Noir. Good red fruit character, very light bodied. It looks elegant in the glass, high in acid. Pinot Noir for me is a go-to food wine.
My dad loves Pinot.
Yeah, your dad's a good man. He's a good man.
Why are you ordering this red wine? That's Sysco.
Absolutely. So what I would suggest, Sasha, just take a sip, appreciating what's going on in the wine, and you come back with a piece of the tuna, and then another sip of the wine, and you let us know.
That's actually not bad.
This guy right here.
It's actually not bad. I thought it was. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be dry, but it's not bad. So now I go in for the tuna.
Yep. Asian vinaigrette, a little bit of the mousse.
Now, chef, I want to get all of it.
Right, so that's what you want to do. Gather a little bit of everything, and then go for
Y'all know
it.
I be in real city on this show. Chef, yeah, that's one. A little bit of Asian. Let me get a little green on that.
There you go. Stay with that, because I know the chef tuna is off the chains. But before it, there you go.
Oh man, talk to me.
I get it.
It's a relationship.
I get the compliment.
Because I don't put any fish, no lime, no anything in that. So the acidity from that helps.
It helps.
Yes.
It does help. So we ain't eat the food with the Chardonnay.
No, we could hold on to that Chardonnay. I was hoping that we went the same route. This Pinot Noir,
So this
go
working out.
against the grain. People are usually white and fish, so here we are enjoying a nice red with a nice fish dish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move to our second dish. All right, so dish number 2. Chef, remind us what dish number 2 is.
We were in the Asian community. Now we shoot over to the North America. We're in Latin Americas. We have a little south, so we got shrimp toast, cheesy shrimp toast. So we have cheese, we have a little P&D shrimp, a little
Is this more like a brunch item?
Crunchy.
Okay, brunchy.
Definitely brunchy
Okay.
item. You can make it smaller. You can do it for appetizers. You can do it's your if you want to just put it with a salad. You can it's a whole dinner. It's,
And then
it's the way
kung
we
for
do
the
it.
sauce, what I was
On
asking you about.
steroids. So it's like our traditional on steroids. So we have Hellman's, of course. We have a little quipi, which is a Japanese meal, which is it just intensifies and the umami just to another level.
Okay.
Along with the ketchup and a little bit of mustard,
Yeah,
a
see, I
little
was
spice, a
thinking,
little
oh,
this
too
and that,
much.
a little this and that. Yeah, just stuff.
All right, so Kyle, we dealing with shrimp now. What are you pairing the shrimp?
So we're
toast
dealing with shrimp
And the
and
bread.
toast and cheesiness.
Cheese.
So I mean, chef really is bringing out textures and flavors, right?
Don't forget our kung for the sauce.
And the kung for the sauce. And when you think about what it goes with, right, is with kung for it's just battered and deep fried kind of thing. So we want to fight through the oiliness, but we also want to complement the main protein on the dish, which is the shrimp. A go-to with shrimp and shrimp scampi, sparkling wine. I like how we use the word brunch, but now, like Chef said, it's an elevated. So we step up from the mimosa, which is just our sparkling wine and our juice, and now we're with a traditional method sparkling wine. So in in France, this traditional method sparkling wine is called champagne. In France, it's called cava, right? Everywhere else, they just let you know that it's method traditional or classic champagne method or method champenoise, which speaks to good quality fruit, a very stringent process to give us the refined bubbles, trap the carbon dioxide. The grapes that we use in these traditional methods, the one we just enjoyed, Pinot Noir. Chardonnay is also in this, and then there's another grape, especially in France, called Pinot Meunier. But what we want is the acid and the carbonization to cut through texture and allow flavors to express themselves on our palate. So we have ground back. Again, yeah, I'm in the wine business, but I can't break the bank when I'm shopping.
Right.
So, you know, the majority of wines that we're tasting today is under a $35 price point.
And
All can be purchased right at Bristol Wines and Spirits, and all of these are in our Bristol portfolio. So if you're in the east, you can catch it at the foot of the bridge. If you're west, you can catch it at Blake Road. If you're moseying around in this vicinity, you can catch us right there on the top of the hill at Gladstone Road. All of these would be available. South African Grandback, it's a well-known brand, but I went traditional method because we're elevating from the mimosa.
Okay. So you and Chef talked about this, or y'all just have that synergy?
So things that people don't know, Chef and I studied culinary at COB together.
Okay.
Yes.
But like he said, it was in his blood and he kept it going. And for whatever reason, I went off to school and came across wine. I was like, yeah, this is a little bit more up my alley kind of
And
thing.
the thing is, we connect, like, it is so weird, it's so different that I could just say, boom, that's what I doing. And he just feels
run
feels
with
my
it.
energy and just like takes off, and then we just.
Truth be told, he only told me what the proteins were.
I didn't give
No
him
flavor
like that.
profile,
Okay.
no
Nothing.
additions, no nothing. It's, I'm
just
doing
feels
tuna,
right.
I'm doing shrimp, I'm doing cauliflower, I'm doing a carrot cake, I'm doing ravioli. I was like, okay, Chef might do this, he might play that. I know he likes to bring a little bit of this, and
Just like that.
Synergy.
you know, and it's really Bahamian chefs who get flavor. You know, a lot of Bahamian chefs cook. They cook extremely well, but understanding the science behind it and bringing together flavors is what
Chef was
makes.
talking a little bit about that in the kitchen, the science of it all. It's not just putting food on
No,
the plate.
no,
There
it
is a science to it.
Super. So,
All right. Graham back.
bang.
I always like when Kyle comes on the show. I learn so much.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, he used to know all these things, and I used to be like, what?
I mean, honestly speaking, the pandemic and what we're going through right now is speaking to, we're really in the middle of an explosion when it comes to our food and beverage scene, right? And that's not just the hotel. Yes, you know, the hotels put on fantastic shows, but it's in these personal situations.
Yeah.
It's in the social media realm. You know, it's. I mean, you go behind any of these gates, our best and our top chefs are providing exceptional
And
dining
talk for
opportunities.
some of the celebrities as well. I realize a lot
Absolutely.
of Bahamians are cooking for a lot of celebrities, either when they come here at their homes that they have here, or
traveling
with
abroad,
them as well. So it's clear that we're doing something right in the Bahamas when it comes to culinary because people are noticing.
Most
So
definitely.
Kyle, should we?
Take a sip
This-
because it's going to cleanse our palate as well. So you see, we get a nice golden color. That's
see
the
the bubbles.
Chardonnay, and then we get the bubbles. If you look at the bubbles, they're really fine and they're more centered towards the middle of the glass. That speaks to the quality in the sparkling wine.
Okay.
There's some sparkling wines that really bubble almost like
Yeah,
soda.
bubble, right.
But it's frothy like.
Right.
And that's stylistically different. It doesn't go through the strict process
So
that
that's
this
a cheap
classic.
set then.
You said it, I didn't. The inexpensive one.
If the bubbles right, if the bubbles are more refined.
There you go.
And then when you taste it on your palate,
There you
it's
go.
completely coat your
Okay,
tongue. It's
okay.
gonna wash away.
Chef, you ready for your-
Of course, I already tasted it. Listen, and it's gonna, you're gonna feel it. It's gonna.
And it's
Wash
fruit,
away.
which is dry, but it still has fruit character, so it isn't unpleasant. It
It
isn't
is.
like
I did
yeasty.
taste that dry first, but then it came to the back of my throat and I tasted.
Like green
the
apple
fruits.
kind of thing,
Yeah, I get the fruits at the end.
If you just
So
take
now
a little
let me
piece of
add
that
my-
shrimp,
Yeah, I'm gonna be bougie with this. I want to really get a cheese.
You want a nice skirt.
Trying to make sure
It's a sourdough, so it's a real rustic dish where you actually pick it up and eat it. You don't have to
Oh,
go
I
to
shouldn't
fancy
really,
way.
but I
You don't
want,
have to go to fancy ways,
Because
but
I eat all of it, so I want to just do it properly. I just want to get a little piece.
get a piece. Get a
Make sure I get a little shrimp.
A little shrimp.
Put,
Sauce.
so I wanted to have,
I love.
and then I could use
the little concrete
that
dip.
thing. I'm right there. And then
A little
come
dip.
for the sauce. You said
Come
the
for the sauce.
the
The fennel
fennel
prawns.
prawns,
They
and I can
bring
eat
a
those.
lot of flavor.
Flavor, yeah,
Yes.
that's gonna
They
pop in your
actually
mouth.
Bring a lot of flavor.
That's gonna pop in your mouth.
Chef, that's good.
There you go.
Now,
And,
top it off. Watch the explosion of the flavor. Watch how it elevates.
With the cheese.
it's the richness and the texture, so you need the carbon dioxide and that acid to cut through, and now you get into the flavor of the cheese as opposed to the texture of the cheese.
I just want to take you all home. Put them in the corner of my house. Stay. Right. But this chef, this also has some sauce under it.
Yeah, so it's tossed in
Okay.
aioli, and then
Okay.
you put it on the bread, and then so basically you could eat
The
an
plate.
aioli hot. You could heat it up. You could cool it down. Like that's what we want to build.
I didn't think I was
flavor.
gonna like this, but I didn't. Okay, so now our third, this is the vegan dish.
Trust
But
me.
I am actually excited about this, to be honest. Not more excited than the tuna, but excited nonetheless. Chef, remind us about our cauliflower steak.
So, like we said, steak. So we treated this cauliflower as if it was a cut of ribeye or kind of tenderloin that's been seared, seasoned, and served the traditional accoutrement. So what I did was, again, we did textures, flavor. We build on the vegan level, and we add smoke, we add a little bit of puree, so we add espuma, which is lighten the puree, and then we did the pine nuts, so we have texture, we have calabria chilies, is the spice, a little bit of silkiness, and we have the herbs.
Don't forget our
Like what-
eggplant.
The eggplant that I talked about, the smoke. So
Okay,
that's what brings
yeah,
the
with
smokiness. So we get that, you traditionally put it on a grill, we get that smokiness from the grill. No, get it in the eggplant.
And you know what? When people say we eat with our eyes, this is so beautiful. Chef, and all of the dishes you've done so far have been, you love this. Like you get off on it.
That's
You-
me. That's me
This
all
you.
day.
So
Love it,
now,
love it, love it.
Kyle, we don't have a meat.
No,
We don't have a protein per se.
Per se.
You go straight ahead.
but we still get textures and we still get flavors. So first thing we're talking about is a vegetable, some herbaceous flavors. So there's one white wine that speaks herbaceousness in our Sauvignon Blanc, right? You ask somebody, they say, oh yeah, some fresh grilled asparagus on the side of a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. You can't beat it, right? But then again, so we went to New Zealand that's high in acid, in case we need to cut through texture to give us anything flavorful. If you know cauliflower, you bite into it, crunchy kind of thing. But New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs also have a very good expressive fruit component. There's some citrus that shows up, there's the herbaceousness that shows up. So I'm thinking just based on texture and flavors, we're complementing each other. Okay. Now, like we mentioned on the previous go, Chef didn't give me all of the trimmings.
Right, he didn't tell you
So
what
when I seen this little chili pepper showed up, I was like, here's a level of spice I didn't anticipate.
Right.
So it would be nice to see the Riesling on the side of it, just because of that spice level. But if we were to dive into this dish without the pepper, I think the Sauvignon Blanc is really going to allow all of these things to express it. Yeah, I just don't want to disturb
You
this
don't
thing
want
where
to
Chef
disturb it,
kept up his sleeve.
Okay.
We gotta keep that.
So, this oyster bay.
Oyster
this
Bay.
is a what?
Sauvignon Blanc. This is
Okay.
pretty much, I like to refer to Oyster Bay, Matua, and those on that line. These are the standards of New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. So the thing about it is when I'm in Chef's company, I know not to play with food. And I assume when he's in my company, he knows not to play with wine.
I see synergy.
So again, a sip, a little bite, and another sip, and let us know. Smells nice, eh? I know you were gonna go back to the nose. It's like, wow, that's just punching with some nice tropical fruit.
Wow.
I feel like I just need to be sitting on a yacht.
See, there you go.
Miles yacht. When they take me to New York,
There you go. You
I
go up
could
there to the
just
water.
have this in my
Yeah,
hotel room
there
until
you
be
go.
ready for me to come down and
Say,
sit
no,
there.
no, Chef is gonna send my amenity up today.
So Chef, should I'm not a spice girl, but I'm gonna let
No.
you tell me how to.
So
Should I take a little piece of the pepper?
push it to the side.
Okay.
The oil is
Okay.
the
Add some
star.
chili-
So you got calabrian chili oil is the star. So you
Okay.
do that, rub it through the eggplant.
There you go.
Get the oil,
There you go.
and then finish with the spuma, and you're good.
I want a little piece of fennel too.
Yes.
Get in there. Fine. But I can come back for that. I think I have a little piece for now.
Cauliflower steak, eh?
I mean, know what it is too? The smokiness from the
The
eggplant.
eggplant. Mm.
And I see
Close your eyes and you just envision okay.
Close me.
See a lot of,
away with Chef. My team and we're shooting a show in Australia. I see it. This is I getting the heat now.
It's gonna come in the back,
Yeah, that's where
but
it
that
is.
is gonna wash
Yeah.
completely away.
But this is it too.
the cauliflower.
I like cauliflower. I'm a vegetable girl, so I love vegetables. But this elevation is nice too. You can't leave the. I don't know how y'all is making vegan thing, but I
Can't leave it.
it's good. It's good. I can take another bite because I
No,
I'm not vegan, but I love cauliflower.
Yeah.
We go into the fourth dish now. All right, so now we are on dish number. I mean, Chef is he did not slap up Vienna one. Chef, would this almost be like a complete 5-course meal?
Definitely.
So we're now on course number 4. Talk to us.
So we have the oxtail ravioli. This is the don't come for me dish. So it's
I remember.
oxtail that's been braised 24 hours. Take the braising liquid, we take the meat and we toss it with some meat ravioli. You could actually take that same braised meat and put it inside some shells yourself. You could put it in actual shells. You could put it in manicotti. You could roll it yourself. Whatever's your choice. Have fun in the kitchen.
Okay.
We just finish it with a little green oil, some fresh herbs, a little Parmesan frico.
Now,
some
oxtail
French.
naturally has a lot of oils in it, but you were saying you want that.
No, we want that. We want that flavor because we want that to coat the song. We want that flavor. We want that umami feel. So we definitely like traditionally, if you have curry without oil, that's not really curry. Curry should have oil.
Okay.
Oil should be floating to the top. Incorporate. That's the whole
Add to
feel
the
of the curry.
flavor.
It adds
Got
flavor.
you. All right, Kyle, we got a lot of flavor going on here, a lot of oils. Chef even put some green oil. What are we doing with the oxtail
So
ravioli?
if it wasn't Chef Small, I figured it would have been just a regular ravioli, some beef, something. Like, why didn't bring a cab or Merlot or red blend? But I
These
figured,
run out.
yeah. So I
Right,
figured
we
he would
stopped
have.
shut already.
I figured he would have left
Right there.
something on the stove for 24 hours and come and talk about how tenderized and he pulled the meat apart, and so we got away from the texture. So that means I don't have to go as big as a wine.
Okay.
I don't have to do a red blend or a cab, right? But he also spoke about oil and coating the tongue,
Right.
which is good. But sometimes we can bury flavors once our whole palate is covered. So we want a light red that's high in acid to cut through that.
Okay.
So yeah, we get the coating, but through that cutting through the flavors on our palate, and that's what we're experiencing,
So
kind
we
of
going
thing.
back to our friend.
Back to our friend at the Pinot Noir,
Okay.
right? And raviolis and this dish, brings a little bit of earthiness, gaminess to the plate. Pinot Noir is one of those wines where you could get some earthy characteristics
Now
as
let
well.
me ask you a question, Kyle. Ravioli is the Pinot Noir good for any pasta, or is it because we have the oxtail with this?
It's because we have the oxtail and we're not treating it like we usually treat a lot of other pastas. Either we're heavy on the tomato side of things or we're heavy on the cream-based side of things.
Right.
Both of those would lead me in the next direction. On the cream side, with a nice buttery Chardonnay. On the tomato side, we're going with a real savory, like Chianti wine from Italy.
Okay.
But knowing that chef was going to play with textures and techniques and bring in some flavors, Pinot Noir could hit the middle of that road kind of thing.
We know this one was really good, and
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
every show I say I can get some Pinot Noir and put it on the boat for my daddy. I will. I will send him a couple of bottles. You hold me to that one, daddy.
This is
I'm
it.
not a Pinot Noir fan, but this is good. That red makes me feel rich. But the price points, Kyle, for all of these so far,
A 30
it won't
bucks.
break the
No,
bank.
it will not. This is one of those where it's, bring a bottle for dinner and a bottle for after dinner and
Okay.
still be under $30, $40.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that because people usually, when they think
Yeah.
of people who are wine drinkers, sometimes they're a little,
Break a little frico off because you want
you
that
want me to
crunch. A little bit of the.
or the
Right.
I
Now-
put the whole thing on that chef. I ain't gonna slap off.
When you do see me in the Christmas store, I'll be selling like some Chassigny Montrachet Pinot Noirs at $150. But this
some
there
high
every
end.
day, I just want to
Yeah.
have some fun with
Right.
a recipe I got from Chef Small.
Okay.
I'll add a $20 bottle on top of that kind of thing.
Okay, let me try. See a chef cooking with gas with this one. What did you say this one is? Don't come for me.
Yeah.
That's it, done perfectly, yes. That's it, done perfectly, yes.
I know Chef was going to misbehave, but I didn't know he was going to be this bad.
Dish number 5.
Just get a little sip of that before you.
This would be our entree. All right, so our final dish, obviously, we having chef, it was a 5-star meal, 5 course,
At the office.
5-star at the office. Chef,
So this dish takes me back to, I developed this dish in high school. So this is one of my high school dishes that has never failed me. So it's spiced carrot cake, salted caramel buttercream, some tuile. I stepped it up and elevated it, put in some brown butter powder, which is a tapioca maltodextrin. So maltodextrin is a molecular item that adapts to fat. So we just take brown butter,
that's just
right,
at the
white
top,
stuff,
right?
brown butter, and we mix it
Yeah, I
in.
was gonna say powdered sugar.
So no, as you can see, it doesn't dissolve. You have to add, when it hits your tongue, you're gonna taste brown butter. So we have a little pecan crumble, a little Tahitian vanilla.
Okay,
So we
and
just
then
have,
we have the ice cream on there.
right, Tahitian vanilla ice cream. We have a little bit of pecan crumble because what's Nutsville carrot cake. So
But you said a spiced carrot cake.
Yeah.
What makes it a spiced carrot cake?
so we go traditional, like take it to the yard, allspice, mace, we have nutmeg, we
Okay.
have cinnamon,
Gotcha.
we have ginger, we have all those earthy, warm spices that, so we have nutmegs in 2 forms. We have the mace, which is the outer shell, and then we have the nutmeg, which is the inner shell. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, Kyle. Finally, we reached to the favorite of my own.
Yeah, we give a Riesling,
Okay.
but anybody else look at this dish and it's a carrot cake with ice cream on the side.
Right.
But chef just explained
Run
to you,
out. Run out.
like flavor
That's
upon
his name,
flavor,
Jamal,
and
run out.
it's more. There you go, and spice on top. Spice. Right. So this dish has an element of sweet and an element of spice, but not heat, not chemothesis, but spice. Where you speak about nutmeg and ginger, all of them together give you a nice explosion. But you don't want that to overpower anything else on the dish or what's happening in your palate. So you want to coat with something a little heavier with a noticeable sweet component. Riesling. We make Riesling from dry to sweet to extremely sweet, right? This is what we consider an off-dry. Chateau Ste. Michelle is the #1 producer of Riesling in the world in terms of volume,
So this
right?
one on the high end.
No, this is a, I wouldn't call it an entry level, but it is not a luxe level,
Okay.
late harvest,
Okay.
or, it's just good quality Riesling grape. We have a lot of access to it, and we make a lot of it, and it's very palate friendly kind of thing.
Now, question: Are you pairing this with this because of what it is, or are you pairing this with this because it's a dessert?
No,
Would it go with any dessert, or because of what?
Because of what it
Chef
is,
Okay.
right? So like I mentioned in the previous dish where we had the Asian vinaigrette, right? So a little bit of sweet and sour. This could have gone with that as well, right? But knowing that there's a spice to a sweet dish, which makes that sweet dish a little bit more savory, this kind of comes along and elevates whatever sweetness in it, in the dish,
Okay.
comparison, but then to coat all of that ginger and nutmeg so it doesn't, if you eat ginger by itself, it'll take over your entire palate. It's the same thing if you bite into a cinnamon stick, or if you do the same thing with nutmeg. And so this is that coat because there's some obvious noticeable sweetness to it. But all of the sweetness that you're going to taste in this wine comes from the grape. There's nothing added, nothing changed, it's just how we preserve the sweetness that's inside the fruit itself.
Got you.
This is the number one Riesling in our market, Chateau Saint Michel.
In our market, okay. So region.
Yeah.
Region, okay. I guess all these Rieslings like to come in these slim bottles.
Yeah,
Maybe a bottle. You know?
We like to say Riesling makes white wine elegant and sexy kind of thing, and a lot of it is the bottle, you know.
Okay.
It's always going to, most times it's going to be the slim bottle, it's
Yeah.
going to be tinted, right? So we have one that's in a black bottle, we have one that's in a blue bottle, this one is in a tinted, you know, green, goldish kind of bottle. But it's just to bring attractiveness to the eye. We eat with our eyes and our nose before we put it into our mouth kind of thing.
And I get this one. I smell. Well, chef, Danny boy.
He doesn't give you the look like, yeah, this there.
Yeah, here. Chef, what's your take on this, on the Riesling?
So when you bite into the carrot cake, the spices and the flavor and the textures, because we have salted caramel as well. So you get that salted caramel feel, and then we take a sip of the Riesling.
On top of that.
The plane is landing softly.
There you go. We had.
He talk about this plan from segment one straight to now. He keeping this plan.
So we had a smooth transition.
And I agree with Chef, a very soft landing.
What I just wish is that we had smell-o-vision. Every season, Chef, I've asked Jay and Kenny for smell-o-vision, and they've not.
Bring it to us, man.
They smell. They can't eat what I eaten.
For tickets as well.
Really good smell. I see. I'm here. Kyle, tell the people how they could reach you. Tell us about all the Bristol's locations. Do you have any Bristols in the Family Islands as well?
Yeah,
Give us all that information again.
So we've made some changes with Bristol's, but we're still very present in the Family Islands. So we removed our self-retail inside Exuma, but our friends on the ground is CNK and Prime Time, right? So you treat them just like Bristol. We call them Bristol Express,
Okay, gotcha.
right? And Abaco is the same thing. We're at Abaco Groceries right outside the airport. There's a Bristol Express inside there. In Harbour Island, we're at Island Booze. And in Freeport, we also have a location in Freeport. In Nassau, where we really make a lot of noise, Blake Road, on the top of the hill, where you have our boutique store, Premier Crew. We also have the Gladstone Road store. And in the east, we're on both sides of the bridge, right? The plaza right across from Atlantis, and then we're at the foot of the bridge on East Bay. You can reach me at kyle.stubbs at bristol.bs, Bristol Bahamas on all social media platforms, and me personally, Bahamian Som on Instagram, or Kyle S. Stubbs on Facebook. Anything. If it's just, I just posted something on my status 2 days ago. Somebody messaged, hey Kyle, we're having some short ribs. I said, yeah, how you cooking it? Here's my suggestion. As simple as that. Even our financial controller, I expect a message from her every Friday. Here's what's on my menu. Lend me a suggestion. It could be as small as that, or you could say, hey, I need you, and I need a chef. I might have to twist Chef small hand. I might not get him, but we'll make it happen type of thing. But that's how you can get a hold of us and see what we have going on.
Chef Small, I need some advice. I'm about to cook a steak and a couple of things that some of my friends try to show off, like how you show off for me. I need your advice. How do I reach you?
So, chef_smalls, SMALLZ on Instagram, Jamal Small, JAMAL Small, regular, on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. So all those platforms you could reach me. My email, jsmall@bahamafood.com. Any question, I'm always open. My Facebook, I have one phone that's all. I have 3 phones. One phone that's always in my hand, and that's connected to all my social media platforms. And if you hit send a message, if it's related to food, you're gonna get a response. I'm always open to help with food.
And he's a busy man. He's be traveling the world. So, and we'll be traveling with him on his next trip. The Lord said you speak and it's gonna be. So when he goes to Austria, Japan, Singapore,
New York.
Happy Foods, New York. Well, Kyle, you should come too.
I think it's a
Said I ain't
thing.
get about him.
I think it's a thing.
Right.
I think it's a thing.
I think it's a, yeah, so in our group,
Yeah.
in our family, so if they want you, they have to have some add-on.
Yeah, there you go.
Add-on.
MOT.
Kyle and Jamal, this has been, I mean, I don't even know what to say. And to be honest, all of the shows on season 17 this season have been, I don't know, everybody, is it an after COVID thing
It is.
maybe?
Yeah. We outside.
We outside. Yeah, you guys have been extremely good to Happy Foods, and I appreciate that. Kyle, I only called Kyle maybe 2 days ago and say, look, I need one show. I need you to, and Kyle was like, yeah, let's do it. He is so excited. And so, I don't take those kinds of conversations for granted because sometimes, this is not as easy as it looks. You see the end product, but it's not as easy as it looks, guys. Thank you so much, Jamal. I'm
Thank you.
so happy that we finally got you on this show. Kyle, it's so happy to have you back. Y'all
Pleasure.
make sure to check out Bristol and all that they have to offer. Jamal could only do so much. Y'all message him for food. Don't message him for nothing else. Any advice he said, he's here to help you guys. I'm so happy that we did the show. I'm very happy. But I want another piece of tuna. Offline.
Say that.
And more wine.
These guys gotta eat too. See how they looking at me?
I think so.
Yeah. All right, so guys, that's it. Show over. Y'all gotta help me with this, man. Chef, you've been drinking a lot. Do you think you could put up the 242?
242, of course.
Let's do it again.
All right. Chef, another exciting episode of what, guys? Happy Foods.
Oh, it's 2 for 2.